Hello, beautiful hearts. Here I am. Here we are to the As Above, So Below with Hamish Niven. Thank you, my friend, for being here. And so exciting as every time. Where are we going to on this journey? So, welcome back.
Thank you. It's been a while. It's really good to be back chatting with you. And yeah, I think last time we chatted, your hair was about as long as mine. Hmm.
Now it's more growing. Now it's
Yeah.
the path is open.
Mine's not still. Mine's not growing, sadly. Yeah.
Yeah, we are on different journeys.
We are. Yeah. Hmm.
So today with Hamish, we want to go. We call this conversation that I will have with Hamish as above, so below for many reasons, and we will see it on the way, what and how is developing all this. And I'm really excited today to talk about the Black Angels and to share my experience, and then we dive deep into all this, what is, and the perspective, and to just look around at the experience because again my truth cannot be the whole truth, is my part of the truth, but as I hear my friend Hamish also say, the truth is somewhere in the middle. But today I will share my part of the story, what I was going through, what I received, what I understand to this moment, because not having yet the enough or the information, that is the truth this moment. So who knows what will happen in the future. But so I want to talk about the Black Angels because I had the experience, and as scary it was not at the same time. You see, I always share that I live my life in the hell, because hell for me is pain, is mind games, is all those manipulation, suppression, and all those heavy emotions and all that. So for me, hell, so to say, is where I come from, where I grow up. So it's like I make them friends. Let's put it this way. So it's not something to be scary of. It's more about to understand my perspective of hell and darkness in this aspect. So I also share that I sleep with the devil, but I come up untouched, because that's who we are when we choose the light that we have and hold within. We have a choice. We can play the game, whatever size we want. But I have given me the experience, as I say, to sleep with the devil and to remain untouched. So I have an experience where I was being married, I divorced, I go through years to come down, whatever. Life called me back for whatsoever reason to learn the unlearn, to finish, to learn my lessons. I don't understood that time what was about. It made sense when everything has played out, why I was back. Why? Not in the same structure and environment. We was now more kind of friends and helping each other, but I was living in my surroundings with my ex. So we was friends, and when these 2 years when I was away, I was developing, or I was more diving in myself. I was healing my heart, and I find out more of who I am, and I developed these skills to work with energy, to clean the vessel. Not something that I understand, is more that my guidance, soul, whatever there is just energy is moving through to the higher source. I'm not, mentally aware of how it's working, but I know it's working when I put intention. So it starts when I needed to do some energy work to that person, somewhere to the head and shoulders. And I realized that that was more like a connect, connect, connectness. I don't know if I'm saying the right word, but it's like something inside has been connected the vessel with some aspects of the energy level. And doing that energy work through the sounds and light language, speaking language that is not understood by mind, I receive this message, or I receive immediately in my mind, say, he's the devil. Why are you helping him? And for a second, I was like frozen, and then I relaxed and I said to myself, okay, if he's the devil, then he has a reason to be here on earth. So if I have my hands on his head to go into this process, so that's meant to happen. So I just let it be. I go with it. I don't say too much. I keep it for myself. And I was thinking about what was all that about. Time passed, experience passed. In 2 years after this, every time I was observing that this person was a great teacher for me, but was teaching me through so much pain, like a lot. Gaslighting, mind game, manipulation, took me out from what I felt. And if I was saying my truth, what I see, I could felt and sense in that person the triggering of feeling annoyed that I know stuff that he don't knows. And because he wants to know everything, it was this game of trying to put me down. I was going with it, I say nothing, I just observe. So I just really, let's say, play the game, but I was not aware that I was playing the game to go with it, to see where all this will go, where all this will end up. And now that I see a butterfly in my room flying. I have no idea where it's come from. It's just, I guess, it's a sign. So I was kind of numb in the experience, but also I was aware of what's going on. So if you comprehend this, what I was, kind of seeing, but not seeing, feeling it, but forced somehow to stay in it. Anyway, is end up to have the experience where I had two breakdowns emotionally, where it was so much related with the actions that that person took to hurt me. First time, it showed me clearly through whatever he did that whatever I'm building up in my life, whatever I'm building up to create for myself, he is only coming in to destroy it. And that was hurting me because I trust that man. I was married for quite some years. I loved that man. So it's hurt me so much that I needed to step back, be in my room, break my heart, feeling the crucial pain like the knife cutting my heart. And I took a month where I just fully stepped back and I was not getting out of my room. I was not connecting with. At the same time, I could receive divine guidance showing me what is all this about. And in that process, being with myself, I was like, oh, if this is the devil, like, gosh, it was such a deep in me that if devil is not obeying to the divine, he better get the fuck out of here. That was inside me because we are on planet Earth, light and dark is accepted. That's what's creating this beautiful. But if the devil play against divine, he needs to get the fuck out of here. So it was even so intimidated, whatever words was coming out from my mouth. I come back. When I say I come back, I connect with him for some whatever reason, knowing that what has playing out is really painful, but in the same time, again, like internally, like was something that I still needed to see. It's like I go again, I put myself in a fire for whatsoever reason, for some extra, I don't know what. 2 months after, it's hit me hard, where my dog have died, and that dog was so closely connected with my journey because they carry a fracture of our soul. So in that period, I shaved myself, not knowing why, but I feel my soul guidance guided me. My dog have died, and her name is Angel. And through this process and how her, funerary was going on, I was 3 days in emotional paralysis. And I realized when all does start, because I give him a hug. He was crying because of my dog. And when I give him a hug, something is just put me in a state of paralysis emotionally, where I could see what's playing out, but I was not aware what's playing out. Everything was being rushed to bring her to the grave. I was there looking. I could not believe what's happening. I could not cry because I was paralyzed. 3 days after, I realized and I wake up from this spell, whatever it was, and I go not nuts, but I was blowing, because looking to my girl, my angel, looking in her pictures, is like everything was communicating with me. What was that about? Why everything was rushed? Why I was in this emotional paralysis where I was not aware what's going on? And I realized that it took me the right to grieve her. Everything was rushed because it's very important for me to feel the emotions, and the butterfly is flying somewhere there. And it showed me clearly that whatever spirit was working through this person, it wanted me to just give up on whatever truth, power I was holding on through my spirit. I realized that it was somehow kind of did an attack or attempt to destroy me spiritually, because when first time I had the breakdown, I could feel that I was dying. So I was like pulling this in such a dark place, and it was heavy, and I was like a small child with myself. I don't know what to do. So all in all, my story is that what I face was a crime, spiritual crime, so to say. I was betrayal by someone that I trust, but at the same time knowing that it's playing another game. So it's like I play with the devil. I play the devil's game. I have survived it. The devil was forced to move out from where I am or from my surroundings, because I could see the truth. And I say the truth. And the last words that I said, because in that moment I experienced so much rage, and it was not rage from a human side, but was an ancestor rage, was a divine rage, was a rage that I cannot describe. I was screaming for half hour in rage, like how dare this can happen, and why, when all that I was there was giving love and support. It was an indescribable rage. I go to my girl's grave. I ask her to give me and empower me with her rage, with her anger, because she wasn't a Rottweiler and she was quite aggressive girl. I go to him and I say just few words. And that was the last words that I said to him, that I hold, that the part of me that was holding on him to see the light is dead. And from now on, he's dealing with God, not with me anymore. And I left. When I left from there, I was not aware what I was speaking, because I realized in that moment, I asked my ancestors to be there with me, because I am done. So, sharing this story, seeing the devil in human body from my own perspective and experience, this is my truth at this moment. The truth, the pure truth, is somewhere in the middle, but this is my side of the story. So I want to talk with Hamish and to go into it more deep, and to have this conversation around this experience, because I have not the belief but the understanding or life that there is light and there is dark, there is shadow, and that's connecting with our own patterns that keeps on in addiction and specific loops or whatever. But also there is something unseen that is controlling us, controlling our thoughts, our minds, our everything, because we are emotional beings. There is light, but there is dark. So putting this together or separated with Hamish, we will go through this. So, poor friend, listening this, his first time when I share it actually, tell me what it comes to you, what you see from your perspective, and let's dive into it.
First of all, thank you for sharing that and telling me about it, and deliberately keeping it completely hidden so you just tell me all in one go and I have to go, Um, however, yeah, I mean, truly, truly fascinating. This whole idea, this whole, you know, where do we start? Your truth. It's what you experienced, and we all experience stuff, and that is our truth. So, that is true to you, might not be true to somebody else. Doesn't matter. It's not about them. Have we explained what the Black Angel is? Do we need to start there? Should
Let's
we
start.
start there? Yeah.
Yes.
Okay, so my understanding of the Black Angel is pretty much how you described that man. It is somebody who, unwittingly or not, depending on how far you want to go, is challenging your comfort, challenging my state of being, because I've got comfortable, I'm just drifting along life. I've been doing the same thing. I've been married unhappily for 4, 5, 6 years. Resent them a little bit. We have sex occasionally or not. There is just that mundane dynamic, and your soul's going, "Oi, you've got to change here. It's time for you to grow." And this person starts to change as well, and they trigger you, and they needle and they prod and they poke, and suddenly that person, they piss you off. They really irritate you, and they needle and they pick. And the Black Angel is somebody who is going to challenge you to change. And the fact that yours was the devil, I think, gives an indication that this Black Angel, or somewhere further up the food chain, was frightened of your potential. So it's just like, right, Iuliana, if you're going to pass this University of Earth, you've got to get an A star. You can't get a C minus. So you're going to get tested, and you're going to get tested, bitch, to the end, to the this close to your life, which is how you described it. So the Black Angel is going to make your life live in hell, because ultimately we are here on this planet to experience, to see our old patterns, to change. And yeah, it's like a PhD level. So it's like, right, you have got to change, and you don't have to, but then you
Here,
just sit in that pain and that suffering. Yeah.
yeah. Yeah, agree that black angels are someone that it's helping us to see more deep in ourselves, to, let's say, challenge, to overcome something. And it's also showing how much strength we hold within to overcome whatever there is, and more power we hold inside as a soul, more challenge we are. So it's just a great teacher, as I said from the beginning. And these black angels, they also have an opportunity or a chance to willing to give up on the darkness they hold, from my perspective, to see actually that there is really divine, there is love, there is existing such a thing, because that's why they are black, because they don't believe in a creation that is beyond human minds. and they play the game of this is life, I'm out from here, and who gives up them, you know. So it's giving also a chance to see that there is existing love, care, and they're giving also a chance to choose to change. So I really feel what I experienced was on both sides. When I learned my lesson, I overcome it, because the black angels, most of them, are those narcissistics, they call it, or this tendency they have to control. So yes, they are a huge teacher. So being or speaking about this, you have shamanic experience, you are into the shamanism for quite some time, you have another, let's say, perspective, or you have some other perspective of all this experience that I just shared, because some people don't believe that there is darkness and we are, but there is something that we don't see that is affecting us and so many levels and layers. And the darkness existing in each of us, I always also said, we are the light and the dark, we are the angel and the devil, but it's up to us who we are choosing to choose. And because of that, you see, people think like, oh, I'm love and light. Yes, you are, but you also have another side. Just wait a little bit to get triggered. And I believe that our shadows is there to protect our light. But we need to be aware how we work with it. But this will be something for another time. So that's why we are two in one. So there, Hamish, I want to hear this perspective that you told me about how you see it from this shamanic aspect of, we was talking about it, and I want to share with me again based on this experience that I lived or what I was going through. Yeah.
Right. Yeah, I mean, from a connected place, from the shamanic, from that life that is deeply connected to source, to spirit, to magic. You know, I humans are spiritual, full stop. You know, we have a soul. It's eternal. We are here. We are exploring. We are learning. And the shamanic aspect of that for me really is, there is choice. There is that connection. There's also all sorts of things that we have forgotten, we don't want to know about, and they appear in many ways. You know, I had a shamanic extraction done a while ago, and there was this entity which I called Andy. It called itself Andy, and it was causing me to be really negative, causing me to be really down, depressed, unkind, and ugly. All those things that Hamish truly isn't. But this was happening, and you know, I didn't understand why, because I would bite people's heads off. And this, in exploring it and finding it, what cropped up was this entity, this devil, this spirit was there feeding off my energy and things like that. And it didn't want to be there. It didn't have a choice for all sorts of reasons. They're getting fairly esoteric, but it had found a host in the same way that a parasite finds a host. It doesn't really care what that host is, as long as it will give what it requires.
Yeah.
And this happens a lot. The indigenous Americans, some of them call it Wetiko, and this is like a mind virus, and it infects us in a way that we behave unconsciously. You know, I'm beginning to notice when people fall into that, their eyes glaze over, and it's just looking like there's nobody there. It's almost like an alligator that's got two sets of eyelids, one lot go up, and you're talking to somebody. You can't see. For those listening, I'm waving my hand in front of my eyes, and they don't see the hand. They don't see anything. They are just regurgitating, reacting, and all that kind of stuff. So this Wetiko is very unconscious, very primordial. You're just responding to, reacting without thinking, without connecting with somebody, and realizing that I'm actually not being really truly myself. I'm reacting from, let's say, how I was brought up, society, expectations, upbringing, the traumas from growing up, from experiences, all these kind of things. And I'm living a life that is mediocre. I'm not really being who I truly am. And this Wetiko feeds off that. But as you said, it also gives you a chance to get curious. And when you do suddenly have that moment of clarity and go, I don't normally act like an asshole, but why am I doing it now? And you start to spot it, and then you get curious, and then you find out that there is something wrong. And that's when you do the personal work, you go see a practitioner, you go and see a therapist, you do all these things, you spend time on yourself, working, thinking, feeling things through, being curious. And that's when this black angel, this black teacher, whatever you want to call it, can start to educate you, and you can learn with it. And ultimately, it is unhealthy. It is a teacher, but until you notice it, it is going to just suck your soul away. It is going to you're going to meet the same person in a different relationship. You're going to meet the same bully in a different body. You're going to go in the same, a different job, same kind of scenarios come up. And this is just what happens. And it is this repetitive pattern that you are slowly becoming aware of. And until you realize it and change, you're going to do it again. And this Wetiko, this mind virus, this dark angel, you're going to get more aggressive ones. The first time it might just be something minor. The fourth or fifth time, it's going to be a narcissistic person. The fifth or sixth time, it could be very unpleasant. And it is teaching you if you are brave enough to listen to the lessons. But those lessons get harder.
It's like pushing, get harder and harder until I see that there are some spirits. I call it their spirits because there are some spirits that they don't have shape or form, but they are very, very felt by the human that spirit find that host in. And what I understood from me, when these spirits come and find a host, it's so much related somehow with some wounds that they still carry, something inside that it's something still to be seen or work with it. So they easily can hook themselves on some person because of those patterns, wounds, whatever there is that it's pulling them, like you said, like was alive, like so almost miserable, but it's not who you are. It's because there was something inside, and our curiosity, it's what's helping us to spot them. Our willingness to say that I understand and I feel this, what is happening, but it's not what I want. So these spirits are invisible, but if we could see through the one seeing, I can almost swear we will see people with so many shadows around them, hooked by their physical body because of those unhealthy whatever there is, and they get hooked in. This is, and that's how we are walking around, and we are not aware. So you see, they are playing the dark side. That they are pushing us to get more into the light. They are somehow the devil playing the game, but the devil also is sent by God to test us. It's such a weird experience because I had a period after all this. I had a period when I really connect with God itself, whatever there's high is the Christ consciousness. And I got this experience. I was like, whoa, there is world that it is. There is not good or bad. There is world that it is. And it showed me where I could understand how this, we call it bad, is actually helping us to create more goodness. So coming back to our black angels, we all are black and we also all are light. We can shape shift into light and dark if we can choose. Our darkness can protect our light, and the light can put the light on the darkness around, if this makes sense, my friend.
It does make sense. It's I think it's the duality of a human existence. I really firmly don't just believe, I know that as spirit is not duality, but as a human existence, there's left, right, dark, light, right, wrong, all these constructs. And that's just part of being, because we have choice. And when there's choice, you can choose anything. You know, murder isn't wrong. You murder someone to protect your family. We've called it wrong because we have a society and we have to conform to rules. Anarchy would work, but we wouldn't really evolve. We'd still be squabbling like monkeys, like goodness knows what. So part of civilizing, I don't like that word, part of becoming conscious human beings is we have to fit into a society, and then we have rules, and then several thousand years ago religions got formed, and then men took over and said, right, this is how we want these religions to be, this is how the god talks to us, this is how this is how that. Before that, the religions were more based on the feminine energy from things like that. It was much more creative, much more nurturing, but things have changed. I'm going off on a tangent here a little bit. And however, that control brings in fear. And that's the biggest thing that we deal with. And that's where all these energies come in. That's where this Wetiko comes in. That's where these hooks come in. Because if I didn't fear stuff, if I didn't fear what other people thought of me, these entities wouldn't be able to hook in. I'd be like a duck, you know, water would just go straight off. But no, I get hooked into these things. These things catch. Just like, if I say that, somebody won't love me. If I do that, I'll upset somebody. If this, then that. If this, then that. If this, then that. This fucking repetition of I'm afraid of stuff. And that's where these entities hook in. That's when this magic happens. That's when other people exploit you. That's when these narcissistic people do that. That's when these codependent empathic people do the same thing. They're no better than narcissists. They just have a different way of coping. And when you look at it, that overly compassionate, let me fix you, I feel everything, you're swamping somebody. You know, you are, and this is contentious. People don't like it because I'm empathic. You are empathic. Doesn't mean you can't be discerning. You have to be discerning. So it's complicated, and it gets hooked in, and these spirits exploit, give us a chance to learn, make us feel uncomfortable, all of these things. Yeah.
While I was listening you, it's coming this in my mind, and I want to hear your opinion, how we see, like, because we are humans, because we have the choice, we can choose whatever we want. I feel like because somehow this is the last chance for humanity to choose whatever they choose, and after this is like something is locking down, and that's it is. You know, if you like to play with the murky stuff, then you will stay with the murky stuff. I feel like this is the last chance we got to really clean up the stuff, whatever there is for us. And what comes to me is that when I said before that if they will not obey to divine, then get the fuck out of here, I meant that the darkness, these entities, these shadows, these spirits, they have their purpose. But you see, because I feel like they play the game to challenge someone to see, to work, to go through. But when they overpowering, I don't know how to say it, because God gives. But if you start to, give a hand and then take the whole arms, that word of saying, it's like what I want to say with this, that human that is overpowered by this spirit, it also given a chance to choose. No matter how much shit they did in this life, no matter how much nasty stuff they still feel and they think is right. And this is also related so much with the ego. Ego is also unhealed. Let's put it there. Unhealed ego is also part of holding and allowing these spirits to stay there. Because I feel like light and the darkness, it is what is created to be on earth. But then we need to make this balance. We must work with both. But then the darkness don't need to play their own fucking stupid game and overpowering the God's power because they think they are more smart. And if you look at the earth, what's going on, it's like, oh, they have a lot of fun for thousands of years. And now it's like it's time for them to close their fucking circus and start to rethink again what they want to do because they have no more power soon. So speaking about this, what was coming is that human that played the most nasty stuff, if they will, even they somehow in their own world they cannot believe that exists, they also have a chance as a human to choose the other side, even though they play the whole their life the dark side of the game. How you see from this perspective of your own journey and experiences?
Several things cropped up there. The first one was a quote from the movie The Usual Suspects. The greatest secret the devil ever, I can't remember the exact line, but the greatest secret the devil ever said was he didn't exist. Something like that. So, if you're not going to believe in the devil, you've already removed half of those choices. Another thing that cropped up is when you go shopping, okay, and your shop runs out of food, what will you do? Juliana, what would you do if you went to the supermarket and it had run out of food? Well, what would you do?
I guess I go back and figure out how the heck can I grow my own food.
Or go to a different shop. So when
Or
you've got this demon hooked in and you said, right, I've learned that lesson, it can't feed on that fear anymore. So off it goes. It's got to go and find someone else who's fearful and go, right, new supermarket. Oh, what have we got here? We've
I
got
see.
caviar in here. We've got fresh meat in here. We've got a vegan here. Fantastic. We'll just talk about beef and see what she says, and things like that. So it's worth changing. Yes, it's uncomfortable. It really is uncomfortable. Your story, what you went through, the loss of your dog, all that grief, all that suffering, all these things, you had to make a choice. My story, I had to make a choice. I was drinking. I was in massive danger of losing my life, losing my reputation. I'd managed to save some things. I had to move continents, but I made a choice to change. Some of the people I knew who were drinking problems with me, they didn't change and they're pushing up daisies. You don't have to change. You really don't have to. You can be in that space. You can be hooked in and enmeshed in that fear the whole time if you want. Another thing cropped up was the movie Monsters Inc. Because the monsters would go and scare the children and they would scream. And that's how they got their muti to do whatever they wanted to do. But towards the end of the movie, they went and made the kids laugh and they got 100 times more. So you've got that joy replacing the fear. So if you can replace the fear in your life with stuff, because that doesn't serve, with the joy, you're going to have more fun. You're going to see the devil coming, hey, I want to get you. And you go, fuck off, matey. You're not welcome anymore. It is choice. And it does mean you've got to be uncomfortable. It does mean you've got to be an adult. It doesn't mean that you can't sit in those wounds you've had for 20, 30 years. You've got to let them go.
Yeah.
I'm doing that at the moment. You're doing that at the moment. Everybody has that choice to go, do you know, I'm really fed up of being of this unconscious. Every time someone says I react badly and I do this, I don't, I'm losing friends. I can't hold a job down. I've had 4 girlfriends. They're all the same pattern. It's the same thing. I don't know why I'm attracting the same thing. Oh, yeah. What's the common denominator? It's not them. They're different people. It's me. So what am I doing? And the devil's really going, yeah, what are you doing? You're being a twat, mate. You're being stupid. You're feeding me because of your fears. So, it's choice. And am I making it frivolous? Yes. I'm making it frivolous because it's all a game. We can.
Exactly. Continue.
I don't need to. It's all a game. And
Yes.
when you remember that, you can laugh at the devil. And you can laugh at that narcissist, and rather than get wound up when they gaslight you, this, that, and the other, you can just say, bye-bye.
Yeah.
With no more energy than that, and they can't even say anything because they need your energy to feed off. They are the vulture. Yeah.
Yeah, they want your reaction because that's what I did. I react. I was emotional. I was almost like, how dare you say that, when it's like always poking, and I was not aware till I catch myself. So yeah, the devil wants your reaction. What kind of emotion you give? More angry you get. Oh, more juices for them. More fear you are. More like, oh, give me more, baby.
Yeah.
So yes, it is that, because it's a game, as you said, and they feed on our energies, that mean our emotions. And people who are triggering by purpose, there are people that triggering us by purpose, they know they are hooked by some spirits and they are not aware themselves.
Yep. Yeah.
So
And that's the scary thing. When you're in a relationship with a narcissist, they are consuming you, but there is something bigger consuming them, and they are withdrawn. They are skin and bones. They are almost dead. They are giving away so much from that fear. There is something very powerful behind them, and it is very frightening to see.
Yeah, it's on to look now on this situation. Was I feel somehow also sad to look at it. Like, it's really sad to be in that position. Where you're allowed to play something through you because of greed of power or whatever there it is to be. So, yes, this is existing. I don't say to fear, because more you fear, you call them to you. We talk about this, or I want to bring the awareness to this, not to fear it, but to be aware that that's unseen world. It is playing out and is more sensed and felt by us more than the seen world. Like, we really need to pay attention, especially now with everything that's playing out. Our discernment, our awareness, and our choice, and how we want to navigate through this life. Thank you, my friend. I wanted to talk about this because I know there are many people experience this battle, if we can call it, where the people, especially these empath people, that they trust and give because they just see what's playing out on the external, but when it's behind the scene, they kind of slip themselves out of that. I am aware that there are many people go through this kind of experiences, and we must be aware, speaking from my own experience, that we have the power and the strength to move through it, no matter how much the devil, the spirit, wants to kill and take from us. We have the power to move through it, and remembering, once we overcome it, we transform and become more strong after that experience. Does not matter how long time you sit and scream in pain on the floor. The power after this is almost like, I cannot believe that's who I was. Oh, that's why I was targeted. Oh, so it's really waking up in us something, not knowing that is existing. And that's the power of the spirit that we all hold within. So, sharing this, and thank you, Hamish, for talking around all this. I want the message to be that don't fear what is not seen, but be aware, because they don't have power over us when we are aware of them. They can only have power over us when we are not aware. And they like to mess with our minds like never before. That's their space where they can mess with, and the thoughts, and then the emotion grow. And then if you give into those thoughts, the emotions start to totally overflow, and then you just give a delicious dinner for whoever that is enjoying. So, yes, thank you, friend. I want to hear your last thoughts related with these spirits, the experience we as a human have dealing with these spirits that's playing out through other humans, and what is happening when we are to the other side, which you yourself have experienced.
Great question. I think let's come back to as within, so without. So if your world around you is chaotic and things are going wrong and there's drama and there's chaos and there's upset and this, that, and the other, the chances are fairly high that there's stuff on inside of your heart and your mind and your spirit that is ill at ease. For me, July and August have been so much movement. It was almost like a dam broke, a big, big dam, and things have changed because I've looked at things, because I have gotten curious, and because I have been actively picking at what's been going wrong, what I'm not happy with in my life. So I have no idea whether this is answering your question. However, I think there is, when you start with that curiosity about why is things going wrong outside, there is something going on inside. We've had this conversation. There is a reflection. I'm trying to get back to your question, which I can't even remember. Welcome. What were you wanting me very briefly to say?
Just what is the gift when we come to the other side, and yeah,
Oh,
what
okay, yeah, right.
you
So
discover
what?
also moving through it about yourself, moving through all this,
Mhm.
what you discover.
Okay, so going back to what I've said, I've looked at things and suddenly there is movement and it's suddenly becoming, wow, there is a lot. This is happening, this is happening, this is happening. I can no longer control what's going on. Okay, so I've had to take my foot off the gas and foot off the accelerator because you can't do them at the same time. So I've had to do that and just let be what will be. All these awful cliches that get thrown around, they're right for a reason. They are right. So on the other side is stuff's happening. Things are happening. You know, I've got some coursework happening. I'm running weekly sessions and this, that, and the other, and all sorts of things. And I'm seeing there's so much more peace. I'm tired. I need to give myself more peace. And I'm also seeing that, as I said earlier, it's all a joke. It's all a game. I'm here to learn and have fun. And I can beat myself up. I can be serious, or I can go, well, you know, look at it from the other side and then just see it's fun. And then, you know, that look you're giving me, you just saying, yes, Hamish, I know exactly what you say. I can see it. I can feel it. And yeah, you realize that life's going to happen. Shit's going to happen. It's never all going to be sunset. Otherwise it'd be a desert. It's never all going to be gloom. Otherwise it'd be the bottom of the sea. It happens. You know, you can worry about it. That won't stop it. Ask my aunt. Or you can just let it go and it'll happen. Yeah, it does help if you're a bit organized, a little bit. Um, yeah, I think that's probably my message. It's going to be okay.
Yeah, no matter what, it will
Mm.
happen if we choose or not. The life
Yeah,
still move forward. Thank you so much, friend. And now I want you to share with me, because you have recently go live with your new podcast, and I want you to share more about it.
Right. Okay. Well, there's several things going on. One's the new podcast. It's called the Brave Man Project. It's a podcast about men, but not just for men. It's about men who have stepped into their masculinity, their healthy masculinity, and their healthy femininity. Feminine. They are embracing their wisdom, their intuition, their strength. Because shit has happened and they've had two choices, live or die, bring up the children by yourself or fall apart. Risk having another heart attack or go, right, I'm not going to have any more, I'm going to change. And the list goes on. So that's the podcast. It's around men who are changing their story to become better men and how important that is for humanity, because men need to step up and become men. It's really important for women because so many women are so disillusioned with men boys. So that's a really big conversation I'm having. And I'm also running shamanic training sessions and shamanic courses because that is what I love. And that's really important to me. So these things go hand in hand. Absolutely. And they're both separate parts of what I love doing. So yeah, the Brave Man Project, that is what I am doing.
Thank you. And I have listened your podcast, and it's worth it to listen. I am not impressed. I'm deeply touched to hear these big men, strong men, showing their vulnerable side and share how they overcome all that pain, all that messy, where they could not see out of it and they want to give up on life, but they still somehow push it out. So yes, me as a woman speaking, we are waiting men to come home in their hearts, to come home. We are so long waiting men to come home, because you see, women hold everything, even though it's seen or is not seen, but women hold so much because they are strong in their hearts and they felt alone. And now it's time, men, to come home. It's time now, men, to take that lead that they are meant to take, and to balance the feminine and masculinity. And then we as a woman and men, when we come together and more healthy. So I'm really deeply touched to listen to the podcast and the stories that you hold the space to be shared. So it's worth listening, definitely. And about the shamanic, I have saw your post, and I have a thought. Maybe I want to be part of this and to enjoy your space, to be honest.
I
So
would love you to be there. Yeah.
yeah. Thank you, my dear friend Hamish Niven. This was about Black Angel, as above, so below. Grateful to be here, and see you again next time with Hamish. Thank you.
Thanks very much.